What's up, YouTubenites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box. It's the Cover Price Top 10 for comic books for the week ending 6/18/2023. Wow, almost there to summer, boys and girls. Doesn't quite feel like it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get hot up in her somewhere. I'm probably Gabe. Is it hot in Vegas yet?
Nope, haven't hit 100 yet, which is really weird for it being the middle of June.
That is odd.
That means it's gonna be a long, hot summer. You know what they say, yeah. All right, while you guys are congregating, let's say the word. What's going on, YouTubenites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box. Laura, say what's good to people.
Hey guys, I'm excited to be back. I missed your faces, and I'm pumped about this list. This is a good one. I did.
Gabe,
I missed you.
Aw, and we missed Gabe's head. Gabe, say what's good.
Yo, what up, everybody? Me and my head are here. It's a fun list, like Laura was saying. So let's take a look at it.
Yeah. Not as many Spider-Man as you would think, and not as many Flash-related books as you would think, right? Has everybody seen The Flash?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Gabe, I know you didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Everybody's saying it's so amazing, and you're the first person to say they didn't like it.
I wish I liked it like they did.
Well, I mean, the bar is set a little bit low for DC, fair or unfair. But, once again, the CGI is, I will say the CGI does leave a lot to be, because I'll get to this later, because I was an interesting intersection between the Flash TV show and the Flash movie. So once again, it's brought to our friends over at CovrPrice.com for your price guides, collections, and trends. Head on over to CovrPrice.com for a 2-week free trial or just $6.99 a month. And our good friends over at Bird City Comics use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off anything in the Bird City Comics exclusive. Laura, I know you have some announcements about some of your books, right?
Yeah, this is a good time to say it. Yeah, the Battle Chasers that we did, the Ariel Diaz, we have to completely reprint the Virgins. They just told us today we won't have them at our warehouse until July 12th. So just hang in there with us. As soon as we have them, we'll work overtime to get them out to you as fast as possible.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, hey, sometimes there's nothing, you can't control it. So, let's go to it. This is the Cover Price Top 10 for the weeks ending June 18th, where we look at the hottest books that are selling both in quantity and percentage. Did I say that right? Yeah, I said that right.
That's good.
And there are some surprising ones on here. There's still some mainstays on here. I mean, there's no need for overrun on Spider-Man books because you'll see. As usual, there's always a runner-up to the top 10. What do we have for this week's runner-up?
All right, runner-up this week: War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas, #1, back in 2019. Apparently, all K-pop is where all the cool kids are going lately for their MCU news, as a rumor popped up on the site that has many folks talking. Jennie, Blackpink, will be a team member on the first ever Asian superhero team in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She'll be playing K-pop singer and superhero Luna Snow, aka Seol Hee, who manipulates ice to protect people in the Pacific Rim and around the world. Like Janine, Luna Snow speaks both Korean and English. Numerous other sites ran with the headlines, sparking the internet ablaze. Of course, some celebs fueled the rumors when Asian MCU actors like Fala Chen and Claudia Kim and Benedict Wong suddenly followed Jennie on Instagram. It's still unconfirmed, but we've tracked 25 copies that have been sold. That's a 7-day trend of 136%. High sell for a CGC 9.8 is $100. Current fair market value for raw copies is sitting at $21.
I'm on the site right now. This is like difficult to maneuver. Have you guys seen all K-pop? I've never been on it till like right now.
I've never heard of it before.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I first of all, War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas, #1, and I'm shocked everybody has this because we've been touting this for a long time that there were going to be an all Asian superhero team that's going to be making it onto the MCU with Randall Park heading up the team as Jimmy Woo, and Wave and Silk, a bunch of other characters. So if they bring a K-pop character into an MCU film, I think it'll do gangbusters because K-pop is just gigantic throughout the world. It is.
Tivo, this BTS's Jungkook shines with 1.2 billion Spotify streams. I don't even know who this person is, but that's insane. You're totally right.
Yeah. I went down a rabbit hole of this other group that does freestyle hip hop in both English.
Oh, yeah?
They're an all female group. They're Japanese, but they live in Korea, so they rap in English, Japanese, and Korean, and they're absolutely fantastic. You know what? This is a new segment. Things that TiVo has listened to that you should listen to. I should get it ready because I just went. Sometimes on YouTube, you go down a rabbit hole, and you're like, "What? This is dope." So it's called XG. If you go on YouTube, look for XG and then look for tapes, and they are so. You know what? I'll do you one favor, man. I just.
Are you gonna play it? Let's hear it. Now I'm curious.
Should I?
Yes. If we don't will they shut us down?
No, we'll
copyright
play a little bit. Let me see if I can share the screen here.
Just a little snippet.
Sure. Share tab with audio. Hold on.
This is crazy. There's so many people. Like, I feel like I'm completely
1.2 million views this video has gotten.
I mean, it's the same thing with manga, the kind of the invasion that we've had of that and how that's taken over.
That's true.
All right.
Ooh.
Two twins and we both tens on the mic. Two little Asians, like what's all the hype? Fake the last tape, then no problems left tonight. Cause we got what it takes to rock the mic, right? XG pushing XP, breaking boundaries. Hit different, build different, new breed. The duo dynamic wreak havoc on the scene. Maya Habibi, getting busy like Bonnie nominee. Top T.
Okay, here's another one. This was more old school.
This one I've heard.
Well, it's a sample, yeah.
Ho, ho, like you know it. When we rapping about it, we can back it up. But you don't want the rest of my girls to start acting up. What you gonna do? What you tryna do?
Yeah.
What you gonna do? What you tryna do? Still young in the bars, nothing under 16. They said out to float the bootleg and mix.
All right, they got bars. They got bars.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Sold.
So, yeah, check it out. It's called XG Taped on YouTube, and yeah, they are really funky. All girl group. All right, they actually had a show in New York City. Actually, I mean, and it was huge. I mean, and it cross pollinates through all ethnicities. I mean, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. They all love it, and and the quality of music is in Korea. K-pop is so much better than what you would consider pop music in America, right? Or hip hop in America. They just
I think that's awesome. That's really cool.
They just have a sound that is, that's like, oh, it makes me happy. It's not all.
Yeah, I was like bouncing along to it as you played the samples. That was perfect.
Yeah. So War of the Realms, New Age of the Atlas, #1 coming in as the runner up. All right. What do we have for number 10?
All right, kicking off the list this week. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Spider-Man India from Marvel in 2005. While hundreds of Spider-Verse variants debuted in Across the Spider-Verse, there were a select few that directors focused on. One of those variants was Paviter Prabhakar, Spider-Man India. While his costume is redesigned in the movie, the character's spirit shines through. Pav was one of the most humorous spider variants that the film introduced, and my personal favorite. In the final scene, he is also seen gearing up next to Gwen, indicating that he has chosen to stand by Miles in the upcoming spider conflict. Guess we'll have to sip on our coffee with room for cream while we wait for Pav to educate us on misnomer phrases in a future film. Until then, we tracked 21 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 166%, with a high sale of $350 for a CGC 9.8 copy and a raw near mint fair market value of $51. I'll just say this, Nearing Nirvana did a whole Spider-Verse show, and this has already gone up since then. So hopefully you're watching The Girls and Me, because we told you guys to snag this up.
Yeah, I'm at at WonderCon. Gabe, you were with me, right? The last WonderCon we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking for this book because I was told, way before by somebody that Spider-Man India is going to play a prominent role in the movie, and there was none on the floor whatsoever. Could not find first appearance Spider-Man India. If Marvel and Sony get their act together and do a live action Spider-Man India, it would blow up. Just to think about the population of India. It's like what, 1 billion people or something crazy like that live in India. I mean, it would do gangbusters, just like, the Korean market, for, everything else, just go international with it. But,
his character's so good too. One of my favorites from the film. Actually, he is my favorite from the film. Everybody's like Spider-Punk, and he was cool too, but this was my favorite.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets a new ongoing solo series from
oh hell yeah.
Comics. That would be dope. So number 10 on the list is Spider-Man India numero uno. What do we have for number 9? I told you guys these books, you should always get these books.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun one here. This is Transformers number 11. This is the Marvel series from 1985. Who is excited for the return of Jetfire? If you haven't heard, in the recently released Void Rivals number 1, Jetfire makes a triumphant return to the Transformers universe. This surprising return has sent collectors on a mission to track down copies of his first appearance. His return could prove significant to the future of the Transformers properties, and everyone is trying to buy into his key issue early. So if you track 23 copies sold, 7-day trend of 152%, high sale of $159 for a 9.8 CGC, and raw copies VF, that fair market value sits at $6.
So
if you're looking for this stuff too, number 10 is actually another. It could be one of those cameo / first appearances of Jetfire too. So if anybody's looking for that, go for number 10 as well.
I don't know how many weeks we have to say this, but Transformers and G.I. Joe, the comics, tons and tons of first appearances on it. And for those who haven't seen it yet, it's a fun movie. There's hands down probably my favorite soundtrack in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. All 90s hip hop, going, and they play it. I meant, there's some nice little nostalgia. Obviously, the big, reveal at the end that, everybody knows that by now, right? I mean, we talked about it on this show, right? With
We're
G.I.
good,
Joe
I think.
G.I. Joe versus Transformers eventually coming on the screen. My question is there a G.I. Joe named Sonic?
Not that I could think of.
I don't think.
He was for the show then, because that the main character, Bumblebee ends up calling him Sonic, and I have a feeling that's what his code name is going to be when he's with the Joes, right?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that was the name his brother gave him.
Yeah, exactly. But then what's his name? The other Autobots call him Sonic as well. So I'm thinking, Sonic could be his thing, and it makes sense because he's a telecommunications expert, right? I mean, so Sonic,
Yeah.
Go figure, man.
What was his name in the movie? Noah Diaz, right? So you could just look it up that way. And
Straight up New York.
Yeah.
All right. So Transformers number 11 coming in at number 9. Well, this book would just not go away.
Yep, here we go. The Amazing Spider-Man number 10 from 2014. Explosive guitar riffs are just a typical day for Hobie Brown. Right, yeah. His epic entrance was just the beginning for viewers who would soon become a fan of Spider-Punk. Daniel Kaluuya's voice acting is on point, scoring even more points for the Spider variant. While Spider-Punk only appears on the screen for a few short scenes, his role is crucial to Miles Morales' step towards standing up to the Spider Society. He also provides Gwen with a way to help Miles, seemingly knowing how things would end up. We can't wait to see his return in Beyond the Spider-Verse. We tracked 32 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 111%, with a high sale of $285 for a CGC 9.8 and a raw near mint fair market value of $82.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this book is still on here. I mean, it's clinging on, as you could tell, as the weeks go on, they drop down a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower. But, two of my favorite characters, man, Spider-Punk and Spider-Man India. I meant, give them both their own animated films. That's what I say.
Maybe eventually it would be smart.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of Sony and Spider-Man, what do you guys think of the Kraven trailer?
Oh man, we were talking about that on the chat the other day. I think it looks good. Everybody's saying that it's going to be a disappointment because it's bound to be, right? But I actually think it looks decent. It looks appealing.
Same
it's
here.
Fun.
I was entertained. I dug it. His origin story has changed a bit. I think in the comics,
blood.
In the comics, he does injections to get his superpowers, right? But now all of a sudden, if you just get some lion's blood dripped into your open wound, then you'll get those superpowers too. So why not?
I couldn't even finish the trailer. I've never stopped in the middle of a trailer and turned it off.
You didn't like it? That seems to be the popular opinion, Gabe, is that most people are like, no, it's gonna be terrible.
No, like once that lion's blood dripped into his wound and he started
come on, give it a try.
I was like,
give it a try.
I'm out of here.
Give it a try. Then again, we thought the same thing about Mobius too when we saw the trailer. So, but hopefully, this one's better. So, number 8 on the list, Amazing Spider-Man. Number 10. All right, what do we have for number 7? Still going strong.
Number 7. Speaking about books going down and down, Ultimate Fallout number 4. Miles Morales is arguably the second most popular Spider-Man, second only to Peter Parker. While his debut was a bit rocky, his acceptance as a new Spider-Man was earned. Nearly 10 years after his debut, we saw the debut of Miles Morales in a feature film. The recently released sequel reminds us why Miles is ideally suited to carry on the mantle of Spider-Man. His first appearance is considered to many as the modern age grail of grails, as his value continues to grow. Fans' interest also increases. We've tracked 40 copies sold, 7-day trend of 104%, high sell of $2,026 for a CGC 9.8, and near mint fair market value is $551.
Wow. So it's slowly creeping up. It was stuck in like a 1,500 range, for a 9.8 for a while, but now it's 2,000. Like I said, the next bump will be when they announce a live action Miles Morales movie. It's inevitable, right? It's like Thanos. He's inevitable, but then Thanos dies. So
do we really think this is a modern grail of grails?
Well, name another one from 2010 forward that's this hot or this expensive.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything right now.
Exactly. So you answered your own question. It is a modern grail.
All
All right, there you go. So number 7 on the list is Ultimate Fallout. Number 4, if you haven't seen it, Into the Multiverse of Madness, or well, that's dope too. But the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and all the cameos in it, things that the segues into things that people will watch that you should watch. Then this film has tons of cameos, and it's not The Flash. That's right. It's on Apple TV. It's called Ghosted with Chris Evans and Anna de Armas. And there are some just random, I don't want to give it away, but it's some really cool cameos, at least 5 or 6 actors that have worked with Chris Evans before. I'll leave it at that. And
okay,
or
sounds
for
intriguing.
the same company. Yeah. It's a fun movie. It's a kind of a rom-com action spy flick, but but Ghosted. Peep it out, man. I'm telling you, peep it out. You have a good time. It's like Extraction number 2. Yo, that is crazy action. So these are 2 recommendations.
Hey, so what about that Spider-Man 667 variant? As like the Grail of Grails for like the books released within the last like 10 years.
Oh yeah, well that one is like
one of them.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one is a ghost. Yeah, but it doesn't. I mean, it's a variant Grail per se, right? It's had nothing to do with the first appearance. I don't think there's no first appearance in it, right?
No, it's not. It's just a big Grail book, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a scarcity, kind of like those random Spawn books that are worth like $2 or $3 grand. Just because they're variants and they're, I guess, hard to get, or they limited print runs or whatever. But anyway, Ultimate Fallout number 4 coming in at number 7. All right, now we have for number 6.
This is an interesting one. So The Sickness number 1 by Uncivilized Comics, really small publisher. This came out a few weeks ago. Here's a book that is interesting to see amongst the rest of the titans on this list. The Sickness is the first issue of a series released just a couple of weeks ago. While all of the covers are getting tons of attention, it's the story in this issue that's really generating tons of buzz. The series is set between 1945 and 1955, following 2 main characters intrigued by an illness that makes people go mad. This black and white horror comic has quickly become a ghost, sending the value of this book soaring. Will the popularity hold up for this indie book? We tracked 26 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 204%, with a high sale of $25 for a raw copy and a near mint fair market value of $21. I will say this. I was in Boston last week and I stopped at an LCS and they still had them on the shelf. So before you run to eBay, check your LCS. They might have a couple. It wasn't ordered by a lot of people, but I ran into a couple while I was scouting.
Yeah, I never heard of it either. So, this is cool. Number 6 on the list is The Sickness number 1, and this is what we like to call, organic, right? I don't think there's any news.
It was just the story. Yeah, Uncivilized Comics a few weeks back, they still had them available on their site. And now I'm pretty sure they're sold out of all the regular covers and the variants. So
that's a good point by Three Rivers Comics. Djurvik, Ultimate Fallout 4 Rival 667 in price. That is true. It's a hard book to find. I mean, it's a rarity. The 1 in 25 Djurvik variant. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, Miles is a character that our kids are going to grow up with, so it's going to be a grail. It already is. It's going to be one that they look for when they're our age.
Well, I mean, same with Spider-Gwen too, right? First
exactly.
Spider-Gwen. So that could be another modern grail. 2 of them right there. There you go, Gabe. We answered your question. All right, then next on the list is The Sickness number 1. Halfway there, boys and girls. We have number 5. I was wondering if this
number 5. Yeah, Void Rivals number 1. This is the Daniel Warren Johnson spoiler 1 in 100 cover. Now that 2 iconic 80s properties once again sit under the House of Image, the fans are going to see a lot of crazy things coming. Void Rivals was the beginning of that, establishing the shared Energon universe, inhabited by the Transformers and G.I. Joe characters. While only the first issue has been released so far, this crossover has a massive hit with fandom, especially with the return of Jetfire. The 1 in 100 variant is also considered a spoiler variant, making it that much more desirable to collectors. We've tracked 48 copies sold and a 7-day trend of 110%, with the high sale of $247 for a raw copy and near mint fair market value right now sitting at $208. This is the first time that we've ever had a 1 in 100 hit the top row of our weekly movers list with 48 copies sold. It's impressive to see such a high ratio variant sell so many while maintaining a premium aftermarket as well.
Yeah, Void Rivals #1, the Daniel Warren Johnson spoiler 1 in 100 variant. Raw Dog, $247. So it's amazing to me how the IP for Transformers and G.I. Joe has just, went from, one place to another. What G.I. Joe last was with IDW, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And who was doing Transformers? Dynamite, or who was it?
It was IDW.
IDW as well. So,
Right.
now somehow Robert Kirkman got it, and it's under the Image banner, but the Hasbro still has the movie rights. So it'd be, it's an interesting kind of diversion of, who owns the comic book rights and who owns the movie rights, and how, they'll follow it. I went to my
Hasbro
LCS.
owns Transformers in general.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they license it out to Image now.
Yeah, because I went to my LCS on Wednesday, or Thursday. I was trying to remember, maybe Thursday or Wednesday. I was like, and I asked my LCS owner, I said, "Hey, has Void Rival sold out?" I was just curious. He goes, "No, we still have a bunch of them." I mean, but this is cover A. But they ordered a ton of them, because Robert Kirkman was, definitely, promoting it big time. So
Yeah, we did an exclusive for this one. It was very under wraps. People weren't allowed to talk about it. Nothing. We're out of our 1 in 100s, unfortunately, but we still have the 1 in 50s, I believe.
Okay, so that's going to be
The 1 in
in the
100
mail for me pretty soon, right?
Yeah, yes, you're going to be getting a bunch of these actually.
All righty. All right, so Void Rivals #1, the Daniel Warren Johnson spoiler 1 in 100 variant, 247 for a Raw Dog. I wonder if this is because coming off of the Transformers film, and then we're seeing G.I. Joe versus Transformers. We've seen the G.I. Joe versus Transformers Marvel miniseries. Obviously the first time they ever met, but now Kirkman is taking it to a whole new level now with this.
And he's
so
It's
promising
also,
big stuff.
Transformers fans are just, they love the Transformers. If you're a Transformers fan, you follow it. And it was off the market for a while. G.I. Joe and Transformers weren't being published, and nobody knew where the rights were going to fall. And it was a surprise. Kirkman's doing another surprise, kind of the same way he ended Walking Dead without telling anybody. So it was just a special reveal that, hey, we have the rights to these characters that everybody loves and was waiting to see.
I wonder how they got the rights though. I mean, because
money.
I mean, that's a lot of money from Image, I'm pretty sure Marvel threw their hat in the ring. They're like, hey, we want it. We have a history with it. But, kudos to you, Image and Robert Kirkman.
Now we just want him to reprint all the old Marvel series again in trade paperbacks or omnibuses or something.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea.
Void Rivals #1, 1 in 100 secret spoiler variant coming in at 1 in 100, number 5. I guess that's a new thing now, the secret spoiler variant, because I allude to the next book on the list.
All right, Spider-Man #7, the Humberto Ramos top secret spoiler for 2023. With the release of The Edge of the Spider-Verse 3 just a day away, spoilers have begun circulating the internet. You'll find those spoilers in our coverage of She-Hulk #3. If you avoided that, there's no reason to spoil it again here. This week's release is set to explore the origin of Spider-Boy and gives us our first piece of information, his identity. While there isn't an immediate recognition of the name or the face, this reveal provides enough more support for Spider-Boy's longevity. Additionally, comic stores revealed solicitations for a future solo run of Spider-Boy. If you are still a doubter, the evidence is stacking up. It looks like Spider-Boy is here to stay. We tracked 75 copies sold, which was down 99 from last week, at a 7-day trend of 109%, with a high sale of 150 for a CGC 9.8 and a raw near mint going for about $33.
Spider-Man #7, the Humberto Ramos top secret spoiler variant, CGC 9.8 for 150. Let me ask you kids this. If it is revealed that Spider-Boy is already an existing character, will it hurt the value of the book, or if it's a brand new character that they introduce?
I mean, it's better if it's a brand new character.
I mean, you remember Red Goblin, the reveal, and then that just went, dude,
yeah, and it
just died. Yeah. But I think if it's a brand new character, then perhaps then I think it will have more legs to it, as opposed to just saying, oh, it's a clone of Ben or somebody, I don't know, Scarlet Spider or some shit. I don't know, man. It can be, but my feeling, I was like, who could be Spider-Boy? Put your guess.
It's a clone of Uncle Ben, but as a little boy.
There you go. It was Aunt May's bastard child from Tony Stark. If you want to, Tony Stark and her hooked up,
Or a bastard child from Dr. Octopus.
Oh,
they were hooking up.
Yeah, all those tentacles. Let's not get carried away now. All right, what do we have for number 3 on the list? Shouldn't be surprised.
Number 3, good old Spider-Man 2099, number 1 from 1992. Spider-Man 2099 is still going strong. How many more ways can we say it? Oscar Isaac did an excellent job portraying a futuristic Spider-Man and the leader of the Spider Society. Spider-Man 2099 was a perfect antithesis to the morals of Miles. One Spider-Man still holds on to the belief that the future can be changed, while the other stands on the other side of destiny and accepts their fate. These are huge differentiating core beliefs and are the diverse driving force between Miguel and Miles. We were lucky enough to see the beginning of the battle, but it looks like it just got started. Miles and Miguel are set to go head-to-head in the upcoming Beyond the Spider-Verse film. Get ready for more 2099. We tracked 110 copies sold, 7-day trend of 102%. High sell, $210 for a CGC 98. Near mint fair market value is $23.
Spider-Man 2099 coming in at number 1, coming in at number 3. Interesting that I was just thinking, like, Oscar Isaac is like dipped his toes into multiple franchises now. So he's in the Sony animated universe. He's in the MCU as Moon Knight, Star Wars, and also Dune, if you want to cry out Dune. Because we were talking about Haley Steinfeld, right? Remember, she was in Transformers. She was also
in X-Men.
And she was an X-Men.
No, Oscar Isaac was an Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, it was Apocalypse. So yeah, Oscar Isaac wins. Sorry, hands down. Yeah, he wins. Yeah. All right, what do you have for number 2? Surprising one.
Oh, all right. Coyotes number 1. This is from Image in 2017. This series debuted in 2017 to little attention. Fast forward to today, and Selena Gomez and Jordan Peele are developing a series adaptation for Prime Video.
Oh boy.
Woohoo! The series follows a group of women who take a stand against a legion of werewolves that have been hunting them. The story is brilliant. It's a blend of mythology and modern-day storytelling. Whether picking this up for resale or to read, you are in for a treat. Most lower price copies are now gone and have been relisted on the aftermarket for nearly 5 times the original MSRP. This book heated up quickly, and we tracked 54 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 221%, with a high sale of $89 for a CGC 9.8 copy and a raw near mint fair market value of $16.
Maybe, yeah. Coyotes number 1 from 2017 coming in at number 2. I don't know. Maybe I'm just haven't been reading up on the news. This I did not hear about this.
I didn't know about this either. This was a good one.
Yeah, or else I would have been searching them internets as well, or looking in my LCS, but I'm pretty sure they're gone now. So I'm at anytime you get Peele doing anything, I mean, he's such horror with the comedic sense. Even in the old Key and Peele sketches, they would be funny, and then they would just go off into this weird kind of dark realm of sci-fi or whatever. But so Selena Gomez got quite a popular, on Amazon Prime. Hopefully they
I like her. She's cute.
Yeah, she is. Hopefully they don't paper girls us and don't bring back another season. I would say Amazon Prime is a lot better than Netflix, though, as far as just canceling shows after one season. I've come to the realization that Netflix hates fantasy shows. Right, they had some great fantasy shows, but they opted for more of this kind of sci-fi shows and things like Extraction, like special ops, military type films. I mean, there's a new Gal Gadot movie that is in that same vein where she's a super spy, of course, doing all kinds of crazy shit. But Amazon Prime.
That movie was terrible. What was that?
Yeah. So hopefully, the WGA strike gets fixed soon, so we can actually start seeing these properties being developed. I was reading something today that there may be an actor strike as well, which would really, really, that would really up in Hollywood for a while. I meant, the WGA strike also gave the excuse for Hollywood studios to kind of say, oh, well, we're going to cancel your show because of the strike. One, maybe they didn't want to do the show, or the show was costing too much money and they got rid of things. So that was just the ugly side of Hollywood for you, the studios and the writers should, the writers should get paid more, for doing what they do. So, the last time we had one here, I think it was 2007, 2008. It estimated costs the Hollywood industry $2 billion is in lost revenue because of that.
That's insane. That's an incredible amount of money.
Now, what's interesting though is full circle to now. Though we have multiple streaming platforms that offer international fare, which are not affected by the WGA strike. I mean, just going to Netflix, there's tons of like Korean shows and Japanese shows and, German shows, French shows in Spanish, whatever. So, in solidarity, they could eventually say, hey, we're not going to do anything. But right now, they're just going to continue on. So hopefully everybody gets paid and they move on. So number 2 on this is Coyotes. Number 1. I wonder who did the cover. It looks familiar to me, but, I'm trying to think.
It does look eerily familiar, and I can't pinpoint it either. I think that's just like maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat somebody thought it looked like Lucy, but that's not what I was thinking. Or something like that. It kind of does look like Lucy, though.
All right. Sorry. Almost there, boys and girls. The number 1 book on this week's list. Somebody called it in the live chat earlier.
All right. Last book of the night. She-Hulk number 3 from 2004. So a little bit of a warning here. There is spoilers for Edge of Spider-Verse 3. Some Spider-Boy spoilers. This may be a product of the market being led astray or a simple act of buying upon a poorly researched Google search. In the upcoming release of Edge of Spider-Verse number 3, it has been leaked that Spider-Boy's real name is Bailey Briggs. Your instinct to search for that name associated with Marvel is common sense and an act everyone performs. In that search, a Bailey Briggs does exist in the Marvel Universe. In fact, his first appearance is in this issue of She-Hulk number 3, hence its sudden traction. However, this Bailey Briggs is a Hammer aeronaut engineer who's murdered and returns as a ghost to serve as a witness in his murder trial, and then sent to spiritual jail after lying under oath on the stand. Based on this, the two Baileys appear to have little to no connection. Keep in mind, this issue of She-Hulk was written by Zeb Wells, a former Spider-Man writer and friend of Dan Slott. So there is a loose connection among the writers. I guess we'll have to see. Meanwhile, we've tracked 44 copies sold, 7-day trend of 281%, high sell of $135 for a CGC 9.8, and fair market value for very fine copies is $12.
Hey, Gabe, do you know what we're covering tonight right after this? Bailey Briggs.
She-Hulk?
Bailey Briggs.
Nice.
Whole show about it.
Bailey Briggs was a murderer and became a ghost, and he was a Hammer aeronaut. Is that what you said? Worked for Hammer. So
yeah, aeronaut.
So that seems to me like a rather old person to be called Spider-Boy. But sometimes it doesn't stop people from buying it just by name recognition. So we'll see. When does the origin issue come out? I think we read that earlier. Anyway, Uncle TiVo's advice to you: sell this before that comic comes out, because I have a feeling it's not going to be what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? So She-Hulk number 3 coming in, and number 1 is 9.8, so for $135. That's just a dope cover too, by the way.
Yeah, I like it.
Who did that cover? That's dope.
You can't tell. Nobody I recognize anyway.
All right, boys and girls, that's it for the Cover Price Top 10. This is the part of the show where I give something away, and I'm not going to do the random comment picker. We'll do that on Thursday.
Okay.
So leave a comment with your favorite covers after this video posts. So what I am going to do is a trivia question, since it's kind of on topic.
Yay, I like that.
Let me start a start line here, and Gabe may know this right off the top of his head.
That
And
beautiful
a lot
head.
of you, yeah. What is the G.I. Joe acronym?
Oh,
I can see people bringing up their
Google searching
Google
away.
right now.
That was a Greg Horn cover? No shit. I would never have guessed that.
I
Sorry.
would say what's the Cobra one as well, but we'll just start it off easy. What's the G.I. Joe? No,
I think
Kal-El.
Kal-El got it.
No, that's typically what G.I. Joe means.
Oh.
But in the comics,
That's what I would've guessed.
Cartoon, it's an actual acronym for something.
General issue from Longshot.
Nope.
Government issued. No, that's what Barry said that one. Dan put GI. Yeah. Do you know it, Gabe?
no.
I would have said government issued, so I don't know.
Well, that's what GI stands for in general.
Yeah, I mean that's been around for a while, but there's an
Yeah.
actual acronym for it. I found it online earlier, and it wasn't an easy search. So
So you're saying there's an acronym for JOE then as well?
and GI.
Right.
Still nothing, huh?
I think you stumped the whole internet on this one, Tim.
We're all like searching right now, trying to whoever finds it first wins, right?
Yep.
Between Gabe and me too.
Oh, Comic Collector Geek is so close. Gastrointestinal. That's one of the GI track. Comic Collector Geek is close. Boom, there it is. Satori Imai. Global Integrated Joint Operating Entity is the acronym for G.I. Joe. See?
Really?
Awesome.
Yep.
Global Integrated Joint Operating Entity.
Yep. And then there's one for Cobra as well. So Satori Imi, go ahead and hit me up on Instagram. I'll send you out some Bird City Comics exclusives at Laura's expense. Thank you very much. And speaking of which, Laura, any last words?
Sorry, I was muting. Yeah, no, you guys, right after this, we'll be covering Spider-Boy on Comic Book Women. So hop on over there. I think Tivo's going to redirect you anyway, so that makes it easy. And a little spoiler, this Friday, I don't know if you guys remember our World Tree #1 exclusive we did with Anna Marcano. But this Friday, we're going to be doing a third printing of that cover, but slightly tweaked. I can't say much more than that, but it's beautiful. Make sure you're following us on Instagram.
All right. All right. Gabe, any last words?
Thanks a lot for showing up, everybody. Fun list. Learned about G.I. Joe tonight. That was fun too.
You
Yeah.
learn what the acronym is, see? And knowing is what? Half the
Power?
battle.
Half the power.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe it. I teed you up for that one. Knowing is half the paddle.
Knowing is power. That's similar, I guess. No.
No, that was the whole thing about G.I. Joe is knowing is half the battle. All right.
I'll
For
remember it
Laura
next
and JB, this is Tivo. Keep digging in them long boxes. We'll see you Thursday. Peace out.
time. Bye.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my god.
Hold on and get some, boys. That is why that's gonna be.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 3 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and
shall know that the Lord is
Young.
Go on and get some, boys.
Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
in this. You shall know that the Lord is
Young.
What's in the box?